Hello and welcome to a new quick look here on Higher Plane Games for the IndieNova series, where we're celebrating indie games throughout all of November. Today we're playing 7 Grand Steps, also with a subtitle of Step 1, What the Ancients Begat. This is a truly unique game that starts off slow and then you kind of think, ooh, I quite like. And what I'm going to do is, instead of going to a new game, I'm going to go into the tutorial because I think it explains things really, really well. And because it's such an abstract game, it really is the best place to go. So, off to the tutorial we go. Father Get is up there. Father Get dreamed of escaping from crocodiles. To place his pawn on the wheel, spend a token. Tokens always go into slots. So you'll always have tokens of stuff that you're doing along the left hand side, and what I'm going to do is drag it into the slot, and that makes him a busy man, and it pops him onto the wheel. At the end of every turn, the wheel will move, and if you don't decide to move your player along with it, you need to spend one of these 3 tokens. And if you can see, one is masonry, and you can see there's a masonry just down on the wheel, on the one slot above where he's placed on the wheel. Next one is irrigation. Do love a bit of irrigation. That's the next one along. Or I can go for brewing, which moves him further along and away from the crocodiles, because the crocodiles eat anyone that is on the wheel. Apparently we're chewy but flavourful. So what I'm going to do is drag the brewing one into the slot, because actually that moves him the furthest away from the crocs. So if I move him again, he'll join on what's called the bouncing bead here. So if I do that, I'll pop the irrigation one in, move him up. He then grows some legend points. Fill the stack and you'll earn a legend. What's a legend? A legend is something that strengthens your families to come through the challenges of the ages, because what you'll be doing is you'll be tracking your entire family's future. You'll be tracking your entire family's past and throughout all of the ages that has ever existed in this world and well off into the future. You create your own legacy in a way, and you can look back over it because your children, you'll have like a family tree that just constantly goes, and that's one of the beauties of this game, is that every decision you make, you can trace back to when you made it and thought, maybe a couple of thousand years ago I shouldn't have married my daughter off to some dirty little criminal. So currently we are striving for a discovery, and we do that by earning, I think, 80 legend points. Okay. So the time is a copper age. Before the next age begins, your family will be challenged, and you must survive the historic circumstance that ended that age. Usually, when all of the track's discoveries have been made, one age ends and another begins. Discovery legends give advantages against the next track's challenge, and you socially advance, and what will happen is you move up to the next stage of the wheel. So what I'm going to do is pop that one in. That'll give me some more. So, Mother Selk awakes Ket from his dream, from escaping poverty. Catch me and we can work together. So, Mother Selk will pop an ingot in to make her part of it, and we can now make tokens together. Selk used the ingot to make tokens. Selk and Ket have completed their turns. Now that we've both, there's no way that I can put a coin or an ingot in her slot, or his slot. We press the wheel and move around. Father pops back up. Start each turn by making tokens. Never run low. Use the ingot to make new tokens. When parents work together, a child might be born. So what I'm going to do is pop it in the mummy. They're on the same space. They're now having nookies. Oh, we've got a child. Child don't have pawns, but they use tokens too. So, we've got 2 masonry tokens. I'll pop a masonry one in there. And what you're doing is you're essentially training your child for the skills ahead. So if I constantly put him on masonry points, he then becomes a very skilled masonry person, so that when my parents die off, my family still has a trade as being a masonry for the next generation. Should I find a filthy little woman, settle down and have more babies, then in theory I may pass on my masonry skills further on down the line. Get it? It's a really complex game. I'm probably talking a little bit out of turn. Let's spin the wheel again. And now what we can do, I think there's some blue in the beverage. So you can move that. You can go to the brick wall. And I think what I will do is give you the ingot. Ah! Ingots is for parents, but a highly skilled child may produce a token. Bad times for Simon. That was wasted. So we will turn the wheel. Everyone's back out again. And I'll give the ingot to the father this time. Making tokens moves a pawn to the crocks unless another pawn catches it. Last and alone, Keck would be eaten. Use the ingot on pawns ahead of others. So, essentially, whenever you put an ingot in, if I'd have used it on the lady, she would have went back to the man. If I'd have used it on the man, he'd have gone to the crocks and died. So there we go. I'll push it back to her. Looks like we're being a little bit filthy again. And what I'll do is I'll give my little one a little bit of irrigation so that they can learn something. On we go again. So, to see the skills of family members, move their mouses across their faces. So you can see, father is quite good at irrigation, alright at brewing and masonry. Mummy's quite good a brewer and a masonry, but is a bit crap at irrigation. And my little one's got an F in brewing, but D+ in irrigation and masonry. Remember, I fed them tokens. And he's a boy, quite useful to know. I'll give an ingot to Mummy this time. They're on the same space, so that's fine. What I will do is push him back up one. And I've made a discovery! The lintel broke, the mason swore, the collapsing entrance toppled Ket from the scaffold. Weak stone, he whispered, coming to. The mason accused Ket, you broke it! The work crew left Ket lying where he fell, or left him. Night came and shivered, Ket looked up. A crescent moon bridged the entrance, replacing the broken crosspiece. Weak stone, it was easy to crack into smaller pieces. When the mason arrived the next morning, the pieces formed a sturdy arc over the entrance. Feelings had passed. The mason demolished its clever beauty. So, away goes masonry. In comes a new thing. And a wonderful set of a new token, which is the arch. So now that I've discovered something new in society, I can now look at collecting 65 legend points, which are these beads, to then look at climbing into higher society, which means moving up to the next bit of the wheel. Still with me? There we go, because I created that, I've got good skills in the arch. Neighbours have arrived, but they want beads too. Beads tell legends, legends give family powers. This introduces the element that actually there are now other competing families for everything that you've got, and they're shaded out, which makes things a little more tricky to deal with. We'll give little kiddie an arch. He's now got an A skill, amaze. I'm going to go for the man. His back one. Now, what's she good at? She's already good at brewing. I think we'll make our brewing quite good. Moves along, grabs the most legend points before everyone else does. And now that they've all taken a turn, everyone moves and people start stealing my beads. So you can see your legend progress over there. And that's how the beads are broken down. So I'm going to give the ingot to Our Lady this time. He moves back. Now, I I'm going to put you in there. Impetuous of love, a loving spouse boosts a pawn to the same symbol beyond. So there we go. We're on the same thing. Ooh. To try for a child, click the flame. Go on then. These lot love going at it. And I'll make my kiddie a bit better in irrigation. I'm sure that must be an important skill. So everyone moves about a little bit more. It didn't look like we had a child that time round, so it wasn't quite as successful as we'd hoped. Now for the man, there's quite a lot of beads there, so I'll have that. Thank you very much. 8 legend points for me. I think I'll move you up one as well. And we'll give that for you. So A+ on the arch. I think I'm quite good at that skill now. What I'm going to do is give an ingot to you, because that will just move you back to the very bottom. I'm going to give you brewery, because that gives us the most legend points. Oh no, I don't want to give you that, I want to give you that. Increase our brewability. Round we go again. Now, what I'm going to do is give the ingot to you. And because my lady is getting a little bit too close to the old crockies, what's the one that's going to get me the furthest away? I'm going to go for drink. And oh no, I'll give you a little bit of irrigation. And everyone else is starting to snuffle up my beads. It's a disgrace. So I'm going to move you to the arch so that we can be together again. Oh no, we moved past, sorry. We're going to try for a kiddie. And I'm going to give you a good brewer. And she got eaten. Oh dear. What a shame. So, here we go. Let's see if I can just keep going until we get to the old next bit. Will you go to that arch? No, you'll go to the next one. That's annoying. I'm gonna... Oh, I didn't mean to do that, did I? Idiot. And we'll go for brewing again. What else have we got? We've got a bit of irrigation for the kiddie. And we'll give you a little bit of irrigation as well. Doesn't look like I'm going to be going to the next stage very soon, but as you can see, a child is ready for his or her rite of passage. To start a new generation, click on the child's white button. And what we have to do is do it before the generation ends. Now there's no more coins really left to do, because I'm going to fall back to the crocs otherwise, because that other person got eaten. So I'm going to click on this. Rite of passage. So, here we go. Let's go for a rite of passage. So, Seaback found the elder man and woman wearing ceremonial headdress. Carp whispered, river sustains life, sun is life, earth gives life, seed starts life, and crocodile ground death invigorates life. Seaback took the time to listen to carefully, although nearly last to finish. He won respect by answering the questions perfectly. Seaback the... Dum, dum, dum. So what do I want to be known as? The loving, the brave, the maverick, or the neighbourly? I think that everything is life. I'm going to be loving. Success! There we go. I've only got me now. So, what I've got to do in this new phase is basically get a mate. So, what I need to do is stick an ingot in and dive back one. I found a lady. She's got 5 tokens. Seaback feels love towards Aurora. I quite fancy courting her. One overcast dawn. She was bathing in the river. She was being a little bit of a fish. And now they are together. May your marriage be blessed with many children. I think it's time to get a child. She's quite good at brewing. We seem to have a family tradition going on here. And thankfully, we've got a baby girl. Now essentially you need to finish every single age, we're now in the copper age, with a child, otherwise obviously your bloodline ends. So that's something to think of. And that is the first generation of the 7 grand steps. There's a lot more involved, there's a lot more to discover. You really do play it exactly how you want. Very unique. If that interests you, please do go buy the game. It's on Steam. I believe it's on Desra as well. I'm not 100% sure. 7 grand steps. Step 1, what the Ancients Begat. Thanks for watching. Hope you subscribe. Look out for more IndieNova titles throughout the rest of this month. Take care. Bye for now.